changed a couple of things, and we had a couple of pivots until we got to where we are today after 5 years. Exactly yesterday marked the 5th year anniversary of the Volatile Project start, unofficial start, when I started the journey. It's been a blessed journey, and as most art inspirations and a lot of engagement from the world of art and entertainment into this. And it's truly a natural, organic progression from the basics and the pillars of the concept that started 5 years ago. Um, so there's a long story of how we got here, of course, but just to start with the current situation, the current model, and what we have and why we are raising and what we giving away. With that, I should say that, as I said, Bootleggers Cocktail at this point is a leader of real craft cocktail products in a retail packaged model, and to the best of our knowledge is the only one available out there. We have footprint in both California in the United States and British Columbia in Canada. Of course, we are Canadian to begin with, and it's our home base. But the reason we are doing this raise is, first, we want to grow and we want to fuel our growth into the United States market and expansion in Canada even further beyond where we are. And with that, we also would like to provide an opportunity for a lot of people who are our followers. They've been following us for the last 5 years through the ups and downs and through the all beautiful experiences that we hosted, also in-person experiences over the 5 years. The last of them was the massive Science World event in Vancouver that featured the first live drone show in Vancouver. And we want to give back. We want a lot of this excitement that is around the brand with all these people, our friends, family, the extended network of fans and enthusiasts, to have an opportunity to joining our journey. It's fun. It's been fun for us, and it could be fun for a lot of other people. And also, it allows people who are actually passionate about this journey to join in. And also, it's a good investment in the future. We're really rebuilding the future of craft cocktails in the retail market, as we also touch based, the boundaries of art and entertainment industries with that. With joining our journey, I guess anybody who joins in, first of all, is gonna earn equity ownership of the company, and that's $1 per share at this point that is offered. And so now, what does that get you in the long run? That goes to our growth plan and a strategy that allows us to grow, increase the value of the invested capital over time with proper operations and the growth that is in place, and of course to exit with financial benefit for everybody. But before I get there, we also added some fun perks as part of this crowdfunding, because of course we know crowdfunding is for retail investors, is for people, everyday people, right, who are not necessarily into huge amount of accredited investors into startups and businesses, rather for everyday friends, family, colleagues, people who know us and we want to be part of this journey because they saw how rewarding and fun this is. And to that end, we wanted to offer something that really is kind of like a token of appreciation for trusting us and joining this journey. And depending on the level, between $100 all the way to $2,500, which is the minimum and maximum available for crowdfunding campaigns, of course, per person, we are offering some really fun perks, including and starting with getting always being the first person who will have access to the new products before they're even released into the market, having complimentary access to most of our events, in-person events, both in and wherever we have the events. It could be in British Columbia, in Vancouver, it could be in LA, it could be in Miami next year, and it's really a boutique, unique opportunity for people who are enthusiasts of art and entertainment to join in for those perks as well. And of course, the plan with that said, the big plan, of course, that the main reason we fundraise is to support the growth plan, of course, is a 3-stage growth strategy until end of 2024. With this 3-phase growth, the first phase actually happens next month, as we are finally doing the second round of our product production in California. There's going to be 3 different recipes that are coming in 355 ml cans with printed cans with labels, including espresso martini, our newest flavor, which is to die for, absolutely. And we're expanding with that in LA market and Vancouver market very aggressively. And the plan is to reproduce again in March with doubling the volume, which allows us to expand into Florida, New York, and Nevada market, as well as some of the other Canadian provinces such as Ontario and Alberta and Manitoba, hopefully. And eventually, the third phase of this plan is to make it to a complete 100,000 cans production and sales within 2024 year. So whatever is the remaining amount is going to be produced in August, September of next year, which is about a year from now. And that will complete our cycle. And we're going to be about 10 markets, journey and background. And yeah, I'm happy to share that. It's actually very rewarding and inspirational for a lot of people. As I say this story, and I've said it many times, and every time it gets better and better, because there are always new additions to it as we go along, right? But the whole thing started, of course, 5 years ago. I used to be a professional engineer, and I worked as a professional engineer for about 10 years across utilities industry and insurance industry eventually. And I had a chance, because of my personal preferences of life and who I am, and awareness about, on the personal level, I had a chance to travel. I pushed myself to travel quite a bit in my 20s back in time. And every time I traveled, I caught myself really being extremely drawn into really unique social circumstances and experiences that always had a touch between art, hospitality, culinary art, mixology art, the bar scene, and music, and to some extent, even nightlife in that sense, right? And I felt a lot of goosebumps in life. I found myself being in these moments in, by the beach in Europe or in South America and Asia, and, meeting these new people, being in a social circumstance, feeling something. I felt something. And there was a point in my life that I realized, I love what I do as an engineer as well. I was doing a lot of project management, business development, marketing as well, beside the actual cool projects that I was running. But, it was time that I realized, what I really care about is those circumstances, not only for myself, but I do want to share that with people. I want everybody around me to feel something, and with that feeling, get the goosebump and transition out of your routine into something bigger, better, an awareness about the vision of your existence and how to make the most of it and share that with other people to elevate their life as well with you. And really, that was the philosophical reason behind my personal transition. And once I felt comfortable and really sure that this is it and I need to do it, and it's too late, it's now or it's going to be too late. It was my 32nd birthday. I never forget that. I had, a moment of complete explosion in my head. I'm like, I got to do this. And I'm decided to do it from the next day, literally. With that journey, my first target was to bring a very cool art inspired, unique, ever changing experience into the hospitality scene, and started in Vancouver. Was supposed to grow it into Los Angeles, Miami, New York, and Toronto eventually. Well, I worked on it for 2 years, had designs, people, concept, funding, everything in place. And just before the lease offer for the venue was accepted, unfortunately, we went to pandemic shutdowns. Sounds like a familiar story for a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people, of course. It was very heartbreaking, but there's always a reason. And with that, you have to move on, focus, and change your ways and adapt. And I did. And over the year leading or after pandemic, after that incident of the first shutdowns in March of 2020, it took me a year with my first major business partner to get together and rebuild the concept and reshape it into something that is scalable, pandemic proof, and it still gives out that same unique feeling that I was trying to create and share with people. As we built it, we went through a few iterations of our entrepreneurial journey with the product. And along the way, we met our third partner, which is on the major executive partners that we have, is the three of us. And he's an artist. So Jean, the first one, is coming from hospitality world and management world. The second one comes from the world of art. And with that, we had the perfect combination of people. And the world started opening up. We started showcasing some of our creative concepts that eventually leads to the product in an in-person experiences. And it was revolutionizing for especially Vancouver, because everybody knows Vancouver, they call it a no fun city. It's a beautiful place, but there's not much happening in the nightlife and art scene. But we brought this whole, European model into the city, and it started blowing up slowly. And as we were doing that, we launched our iterations of the product. The first idea, which is cool to actually touch base on it, was to bring the whole meal prep model into the cocktail world and make it a like a cocktail kit by subscription, that all the ingredients based on new recipes are separately packaged, labeled, and there is a video recipe. All you get every week, you get three maybe recipes, everything's ready, you make it, enjoy it, share it with people. That led us to the second iteration, which was replicating the ghost kitchen model in a cocktail or bar model, and called it a ghost bar. We partner up with restaurants that had a liquor license for delivery on Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these platforms, and we made craft cocktails out of those places. We would put them on Uber Eats and sell them and deliver them. And then we realized the challenges along the way with this stuff: shelf stability of a fresh product, the legalities, the number of steps that you have to take as a consumer to still drink something. Realize people want to drink and want to drink right now. If you go online or go to a store, you want accessibility immediately, but also you want the perfect quality and you want an experience by all means. So we put all of those experiences together, all of those thoughts together, supported it by our brand that was organically developing around the experiential art inspired entertainment through our events. And we launched finally a ready to drink craft cocktail with all natural ingredients. It's about 10% ABV. It's inspired and paired with art, every flavor, original recipes, non-carbonated. And then my other partner, Jean Levin, he is a Michelin star chef. So he works with flavors, with creative concepts to bring something that is mind blowing into a recipe. And then our other partner, Kirash TK, is an artist, well known, diverse artist in fashion, like visual art, digital art. And now you're putting all of these together. What you get is something that is way more than a cocktail. It's an absolute art on its own. And of course, it's supported by food science. So we met our food scientist partner along the way as we were developing all of this. And I'm smiling because it makes me smile, because it's so beautiful. That is really, it makes me happy to just think about it. And it's supported by food science. That's how we can make a real cocktail with real ingredients, shelf stable enough to be in a can or a bottle. And we designed the recipes first with Jean to make something very unique with like mesmerizing flavors that are new sometimes to people and are different and all original. You don't just get a Negroni or old fashioned in our products. It's like a full on creative original recipes. And we had the art through Kirash, and we were talking all together and sitting down and spent hours onto understanding how can we pair the emotional experience you get from looking at an art piece with the feeling you get from tasting the cocktails, and how can we make sure this helps with that and the art helps with the flavor and the flavor helps with the art, and then combined together you really have something that it makes you think, it makes you happy, it like sits well with your body and your soul really. So that's a little bit of that. It really comes from having creative powerhouses life rather than just a drink. So that's a difference we have with other brands, and all the other big brands, they're just a drink. They were made to be a drink. It wasn't meant to be an art experience, right? But we had this brand built around it with the events and with the multiple iterations that we went through after pandemic. And when we were ready for the product, obviously we want to share our experience with as many people as possible, and retail product is the best way to do that. Now, having the brand with all these in-person experiences available, we decided to combine them together and make one uniform model out of it, right? So the events create revenue, generate revenue. Most of them are also profitable, sometimes break even, but again, that pays a lot of our staff and our team, but also provides a very unique exclusive platform through which we can promote and market the product and sell the product beside all the normal routine channels. And with that whole brand of events, we also made a lot of key connections in the hospitality sector and art sector and nightlife sector. massive, massive connections. So now it allows us to slowly, as we increase our inventory, to not only rely on the normal liquor store retail channel. Rather, the reality is that if you are selling your product at a music festival with 10,000 attendees, in one night you move 3,000 units. Whereas if you want to move 3,000 units through retail channels, that takes months, right? And we have those key connections already before even our inventory gets too big. And we're building, we keep building those connections, nurturing those connections, and focusing on them, because that's the big game, right? From the financial perspective, that's what you want to focus. But of course, you need your retail footprint, because then somebody goes to the event, they like it. Oh, where do I buy it when I'm home, right? And we do have a really good footprint already in British Columbia. We're building slowly the footprint in California, and we are supporting it both from the marketing and extra or additional sales channel with our events and experiences. And trust me, every event that we have adds a whole layer of new opportunities and connections to it. And we're going to keep it going for at least until end of 2024. The model is going to be the same, so they support each other. And um, and eventually, when we get to the second phase of the big production, big growth, which is the accredited raise for a nationwide expansion, that's the point that we're going to kind of shift the model slowly, focus on the huge marketing opportunities and sponsorships, using and leveraging all those relationships that we built and have built now, and will be built even more by then. And then like go that way, and our events would be only focus on something that is very unique, once every 2-3 months maybe, and it still moves the product, but again, it won't be like the Achilles heel of the business, right? That's the idea. So we don't want to create an Achilles heel for the business. We are, at the end of the day, available. It's another way that we touch base and connect people, and show that, hey, what you're drinking in a can is as good as this is, it's the same thing, basically. And we have managed and mastered the idea to be able to put that same amazing, fascinating cocktail in the can. This event at Vancouver Club features masterpieces of contemporary art: Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso, Joan Miro, local artists. It's amazing. Lots of live performances, great DJs. It's a heaven for artists, creatives, and people who love a good experience. The tickets are live on our website and our Instagram, bootleggerscocktail.com. Go to the events tab and you see it. And since we're on there on the website, you can go also to the tab that says where to buy, and the list of all the liquor stores in British Columbia that carry our product, with a link to the Google map of how to get there, is there. So you can easily see, I think we're in 12 liquor stores already. They're private liquor stores, not the government stores. And also, more and more as we go, we are available in many other outlets, some restaurants, nightlife venues. Harbor Event Center is the biggest single event venue or a nightclub model in Vancouver, and they carry Bootleggers.